Remember, your value is whatever premium you place on yourself. Why wallow in self-pity and despondency? Why fight alone when institutional support is one phone call away? Simply join Movers Nigeria, a people's rights and economic empowerment association. Our platform is available to all: clubs, professionals, women, youth, students, artists and religious organizations. The attributes that define us as a people were hard work, diligence, philanthropy, family values, kindred spirit, integrity and fairness. Together we can fight corruption, violence against women, violation of human rights and environmental degradation. My friend, will your conduct help us as a group and a community?
Yes, so oyimo omumeriage yelko oboda ka eyounem.
Then you have become a mover. Call or visit us at our national headquarters at number 1 Ogoja Street of Nikki Lake Road by Content Oil and Gas Limited, White House Bus Stop, Transekulu, Enugu. Or call our line 042-229-1198, 0708 955 992, or email us at admin@moversnigeria.org or info@moversnigeria.org. We are on Facebook and Twitter. Movers Nigeria, rebuilding our lives and community.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight.
She talks say this na special announcement that a new station is born. Solid FM 100.9. Say this na the best FM station. Time don't come for me to confirm my location. This is the best FM station. Solid 100.9. Yes, so we dey for Cold City and we go the slam gem after gem with no pity. You go enjoy the ride, no matter your tribe, because the best of the best is Solid FM. One ne onweri fege megi, I beg you, igen wetani loud and clear na begi. Mobo na your office even inside your car. Listen to Solid FM. One ne go we kaka. Mr. Ron one ne one time. This is Solid FM 100.9. Mr. Ron one time. This is Solid FM 100.9. Cold City. This is Solid FM 100.9. Don't touch that dial. This is a special warning. Don't touch that dial.
Your number one radio station, Solid 100.9 FM. We rock.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right.
Remember, your value is whatever premium you place on yourself. Why wallow in self-pity and despondency? Why fight alone when institutional support is one phone call away? Simply join Movers Nigeria, a people's rights and economic empowerment association. Our platform is available to all: clubs, professionals, women, youth, students, artists and religious organizations. The attributes that define us as a people were hard work, diligence, philanthropy, family values, kindred spirit, integrity and fairness. Together we can fight corruption, violence against women, violation of human rights and environmental degradation. My friend, will your conduct help us as a group and a community?
Yes, so oyimo omumeriage yelko oboda ka eyounem.
Then you have become a mover. Call or visit us at our national headquarters at number 1 Ogoja Street of Nikki Lake Road by Content Oil and Gas Limited, White House Bus Stop, Transekulu, Enugu. Or call our line 042-229-1198, 0708 955 992, or email us at admin@moversnigeria.org or info@moversnigeria.org. We are on Facebook and Twitter. Movers Nigeria, rebuilding our lives and community.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight.
Well, good morning again. It's another bright Saturday morning, and it's still the station that rocks 100.9 Solid FM. And of course, you know, 9:30 to 11 a.m. every Saturday, we come and talk about issues that pertain to you, pertain to me, our communities, our society, our country in general. And that is powered by Movers Nigeria. You've heard so much about them, and for those of you who are just tuning in for the very first time, you've not heard much about Movers Nigeria, you're welcome to Enugu, you're welcome to the southeast, because it's been a hot button topic, what Movers Nigeria is doing to try to change Nigeria, and you are part of it. Yes, it's about everybody, and this program is Straight Talk, and today again we're coming to discuss critical issues that pertain to you and I. Of course, you know, every Saturday he always makes his appearance, the initiator and promoter of Movement of Voice for Democracy, also known as Movers Nigeria, and he's Mr. Ifeanyi Chukwu Okonkwo. He's here again today. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, we also have in the building Professor Mazi Chris Okoro. He's a member of the National Education and Capacity Building Bureau of Movement of Voice for Democracy, aka Movers Nigeria. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, our listeners. We are once again to rub minds with you. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, once again, we come to discuss, like I said, the critical issues, and we have a list of them right now, and we're going to be talking about them, and you are invited to the conversation. You can reach us on our phone lines, our studio lines. We'll give it to you right now, and after that, we'll also tell you how to get to our Facebook page, how to get to the page of Movers Nigeria, and I'll give you brief details about Movers Nigeria and what they do, but I'm not in the best position to do that. I'll ask Mr. Ifeanyi Chukwu Okonkwo to give us a brief overview for people who have not listened to this program before.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Movers Nigeria is an association of people's rights and economic empowerment. We are community-based. Our objective is to rediscover ourselves, find synergy in working together, develop love for one another, respect for the principles that make us human beings, respect for human rights, opportunity for young people, promotion and protection of rights of women and young people. Most importantly, how we can create wealth within our community by working together and taking responsibility for the survival of our community. Our primary objective is to promote family values as the center for human development. Movers Nigeria is an association that has windowed opportunity to work with other people, groups, professionals, and to educate the community on how they can take back all the institutions of human development. Most primarily, our target is that we have all the powers and potentials to develop our country.
All right, Movers Nigeria, and they're located at number 1 Ogoja Street off Nike Lake Road by Content Oil and Gas. Well, a lot of people know it as White House Bus Stop, Transequilu right here in Enugu. And the number to call in case you have questions, in case you want to call and make inquiries about the organization Movers Nigeria, the landline to call is 042-291-198 and 0708 955 992. Those are the numbers to call. I'll call them again as the show progresses. Their website is www.moversnigeria.org. If you're with your phone or you're on the net, you could check them out right now. And of course, you could send them a mail to ask questions. If you can't reach our studio lines, you do that by going to moversnigeria@gmail.com. They are all over the social media platform. You could find them on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. All right, so let's go into the matter for today. We see a lot of issues that pertain to Nigeria and the events happening in this country, Nigeria. Something really similar recently in the news. Let's digress a little bit. We spoke about it, about the recent release of a woman who has been incarcerated somewhere, or women, for about 10 years.
3 women.
Yeah, 3 women for 10 years. And I read somewhere there's suspicion that more women could be in the same location. That's in the U.S. Now,
It can also be so in Nigeria.
yeah, let's mirror it against the recent baby-making factories in Nigeria, which is similar, which is very similar, because these women actually made babies in the U.S. Now we have in some southeast states where we have so many girls in one place locked up, and they deliver children. They are paid 10,000 naira, and the babies are auctioned off for like 350, 450,000. It depends, twins or a single child. So, what's the our communities, our environment, our society is decaying daily. Why? Where do we go wrong in terms of that? Where do we go wrong?
This is the primary problem we have in the country today, because urbanization has set in, new influences of technology, the internet, and different ways of life has come into culturalization of the people. And we are taking away part of the dignity of human existence. We are now emulating to be animals. There are issues on public table today about a man and another man living
married.
together as man and wife, so to say, because they ask them to give them license to become same-sex marriage. And all these things is part of the world becoming a global village through communication and networking. And if we don't, as a people, say no and take back our community, we will lose it all. Because these days, part of the problem we are having in the country is integrity and character. And it boils down to things we don't really take recognition of in the community, but is catching up and continue to degrade our family values. It is not in our culture, in Igbo land, to sell children. The slavery we experience in this country, several tens of years ago, were induced by another culture, by white race that needed cheap labor. It is part of domination and conquering a people. And we are coming back to the same thing in the way of what we now call development and advancement in human existence. And embryology and test tube babies are all coming, and cloning of human beings.
Sperm banks and all
So
those.
we have to as a people speak out, form alliances to stop it. What happened in America in the news a couple of days ago happened because it's in America. Because Americans have become a very closed society. Closed in the sense that individuals don't know what their neighbors are doing. And we are getting there. That is why people can kidnap or force another person, a woman or a child, to stay in a secluded place for a regime of 5 to 10 years and nobody knows what's going on. You call it minding your business. Africans don't mind their business.
We are not supposed to mind our business.
It's not our culture.
It's not our culture indeed. It's not our culture.
Prof, what do you have to add to that?
Yeah, in fact, it's none of Igbo culture at all. Because when we hear in Igbo, we say iri ekpe. Assuming you don't have a child, what's wrong you getting your uncle's children, your sister's children, to be part of the system? It doesn't mean no, we don't look out to co-opt other people and train them. After training them, they must let go where they have come from. It's even there in the Bible. Even when Christ was taken to Egypt, An Egyptian woman was sculpted to look after him. They didn't take him to become an Egyptian. They knew where he has come from. He's a Jew. So it's a very terrible thing that is really happening, that if it's not checked, we will be having a problem like in a closed society, as Onwan Nobi have rightly said. We must think home. Let us think home.
A part of the degeneration is that these phenomena are promoted by our urban elites.
Okay.
Professional groups, the clergy, and organizations and even government agencies in the name of a new social philosophy they now call adoption. This is not part of our culture. And these are issues that we need to interrogate in socialization in this country.
In terms of adoption and government policy, if we look at most of the children that were having the motherless babies home, at least everybody should have a connection in terms of family. They have a family they came from. Unfortunately, some of them are unwanted children by some people who have brothers and sisters, aunties, uncles, fathers and mothers. And no one is connecting to these children because maybe the social strata has not allowed for that. If a girl gets pregnant today, if a lady gets pregnant today, the next thing is we send her out. She goes trying to abort the child. She cannot. She gives the child for adoption. Then we have not looked at the unit of family, how we take our children, how we manage crisis in our country.
Exactly. These are part of the social dislocations we have, and we need to take it head on and begin to resolve them. And that's why we are here.
All right. Well, we're still here and Movers Nigeria powering the program Straight Talk. We're saying it as it is. And if you listen to what we've just talked about right now, this form of slavery, child sale, babies and everything, does it have to do with education? Let's start from the top. Because Movers Nigeria is also promoting education. Is it because of the lack of education, informal or formal education, that we can say these problems are being faced by Nigerians now?
The bottom line is education. Education is not primarily going to the university to acquire baccalaureate certificates. Education is learning about the architecture of your culture.
Okay.
Learning how the linkages, what is the family tree of an average Nigerian or coming from a specific area. These issues that we are being confronted today is that our association is interested in this decay, to fight this decay of decline of family values, and this new form of slavery in child sales and baby factories, promoted primarily by our urban elites, professionals, the clergy, organizations and agencies of government in the name of government bureaucracy. And if we don't take control of the content of what government is all about, we will derail, because there is no community you can come into and you will tell me that there is a child that has no link with the members of the community. It is by urbanization that we now call that institution motherless babies home. They are motherless. They are not fatherless. And we must begin to encourage, because even Igbo culture do not promote abortion. We don't promote abortion in our culture. And I don't know any culture that does so. But Christianity has also come and stood against abortion. And we need to encourage our children or youth that have made mistakes and find a way of re-engineering their lives back as people in the community. But because of the new philosophy of the nuclear family system we have seen in the West, young professional men and women have decided to trade in human beings in the name of growing their own family trees. And these are issues that we need to interrogate in the community and find out whether it is helping us. You can raise, even in things fall apart, you can raise a child and you don't obliterate his the architecture of his human existence. You tell a child that he has no home, he has no community, he's just a motherless baby. You brought him from a motherless baby's home, and you are adopting him or her in your own family, and that is his connection. It is morally wrong and biologically unacceptable.
Okay.
If I may come in here, my brother, you know, even the people who look upon us being civilized, the British people, they have the one they call foster parents.
Yes.
Foster parents does not entitle you to remove the information who is this child's father or mother or where he comes from. I was disturbed. In fact, I was actually disturbed 2 days ago. There was a news item on the network where some policemen were massacred, but they are so rest in peace.
Yes.
They said the state governor has opted to adopt 2 children of a policeman whose father and mother was killed and so on. And then I asked, these people who were murdered, the policeman and his wife, they don't have where they have come from. I hope when they train those children, they must let them know, have information
where
they have come from. Because there is a family tree, and there's importance for one to know his family tree. You follow it even up to your 4th generation.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're still talking about these issues and how it relates to our country, how it relates to everyone right now. We've tied in information and education because they're all intertwined. Now, let's move on from here. I will still come back to this because I know a lot of people would want to talk about it. But in terms of informal education and business and craft, look, if you look at most of these young girls that were actually adopted to have children, maybe they're of age to work. Maybe they're of age to have a craft. Some of them couldn't complete school because they don't know the channels to go through. Now, what do you say about education, informal education for business and craft development? Because if you talk about business and craft development, many of these young girls won't be engaging in practices that will have to have children for someone and get paid only 10,000 naira. What do you think this educating them to use their hands to do something more profitable?
This is why Movers has been crusading. We are telling Nigeria, take back your lives. Your life does not belong to government. What are you doing in your community to see to it that the system works? There's a system of continuity. Where is the family value? All we are telling people is that who is responsible to plan for your child welfare? Is it the government? That is a different thing altogether. We are telling Nigerians, take back your life. Government don't owe you a job. They don't owe you a living. Government is a system we have adopted to manage our lives. But we must have an initiative in how it's managed. This is why you see in the community, if you fail in getting your standard 6 or the school certificate education, then we term you no good. It is improper. It is not the proper approach. There are people who are late developers. They need opportunity. That is why the members of the community who have some gifts should come back and see how we will get interested in how we can streamline our lives. Otherwise, these children will grow up becoming deviants, like we're now saying, those who will become surrogate mothers, which is not part of our culture. And the architecture of our living is centered on our culture. If you don't know your culture, you don't know who you are. And I don't think there's anything derogatory by being Igbo, or Hausa, or Yoruba, or Idibio, or Ijo. But we can improve on it. And what we are saying is that education is important, but the leaders in the community and the youths must get involved in designing the architecture for a way forward.
Okay, so at this point, you are invited to the conversation. You're always part of the conversation, but let's open up the phone lines for your participation. Well, the number to call is 0815-960-9134 and 0815-243-7346. Okay, let's talk about this. We've raised a series of topics. How Movers Nigeria and yourself, you're also involved in this. How Movers Nigeria initiative to support informal education as a tool for business and craft development. We're also going to be addressing issues that regard return of youth to education, return of youth to agriculture through partnership with groups and schools. If you look at most of the topics or everything we're talking about, they're all intertwined, trying to engage people to avoid people going down into criminality and many other things. So we're also going to be talking about, like we've just mentioned when we started up, Movers Nigeria's initiative against decay in our family values by this new form of slavery. We have child sales and baby factories. Is it being promoted by our urban elite? Are we promoting it unconsciously? Organizations, clergy, government agencies. We're also going to be addressing partnership with groups for advancement of women issues, access to capital and reduction of poverty through government policies design and party politics. If you look at everything, it all boils down to the same thing. How do we work together to make sure that we don't have youth who come out there and are miscreants? How do we have to partner together with everyone to make sure that we are able to access, those important things that will help us? What policies do we need to develop to make sure that we do not have a failed society? So, you're invited to this conversation. Of any of the topics that we have on this course today, you can also lend your voice to it. Let's get to know what you have to say. Once again, the number to call is 0815-960-9134 and 0815-243-7346. And let's not forget, this show is powered by Movers Nigeria. We call it Straight Talk. And I guess the lines are blinking right now. Let's get you involved in the conversation. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. What's your name and location, please?
I'm calling from Anambra State University.
Okay, go ahead.
My contribution is that... okay, let me start from my name now.
Okay, now, go ahead.
My name is Mascot Onubeze.
All right.
A law student of Anambra State University. I want to contribute that what people are doing these days is too bad. In terms of the adoption, it's not a part of our culture. But if you look at what happened in the north, they do the foster parentage, like somebody said on the radio. So it is very, very important that the Igbo part of this Nigeria should adopt it slow and leave that adoption of a thing. Or the government should make new policies that will guide it and know that the slavery of the colonial era did not come back to our present generation.
Okay.
So, and I want to add again that your program is very nice, very educative, trying on how to work together among the people. So I must say, I appreciate you people, and God bless you.
God bless you too. Thank you very much for your contribution. Well, he's made his point, and we're still waiting for you to put your own contributions through to our network line 0815-960-9134 and 0815-243-7346. We have a list of topics to discuss today, and someone has just picked out a form of slavery, adoption, and baby sales. We're also talking about how everyone can work together in support of informal education to help in business and craft development, because we have young people who have skills in business and craft development. We would have less need to talk about slavery, because everybody will have their hands full doing something important. Let's see what you have to say. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning, my brother. What's your name and location, please?
What are we talking about? Am I from Oka?
Okay, go ahead.
What is the topic? What are we talking about?
Well, we have a list of things to talk about today. One of the topics we have is, okay, the lines have cut off. Try calling us back, 0815-960-9134 and 0815-243-7346. Those are numbers to call. And I'm going to ask Mr. Ifeanyi Chukwuokonkwo to elaborate on some of these topics we have today so people can be really informed.
The first topic we are discussing is why is it that our family values are being degenerated by a new form of slavery in child sales, baby factories promotion, and I identify this issue as being promoted and financed by our urban elites.
Okay.
And the professionals, doctors, nurses, midwives, laboratory technicians,
Churches.
the clergy, organizations that call themselves NGOs, and then, worst of all, government agencies who are telling me that they are child welfare organizations. The entire content and design of government programs of childbearing is foreign to our culture. I am calling on our legislatures, I am calling on our communities to agitate for change. The adoption law today in our state, which is a domestic law within the states, is alien to our people. Fostering children and obliterating somebody's architectural information is criminal. How can you go and adopt a child and wipe out the existence of whoever gave birth to that child, and you say that you want to build a society? These are the things we are agitating for. And you know a people by the way they plan how to succeed themselves.
Okay.
And in the other area we are talking about initiative in supporting formal education for tools for business and crafts development. Everybody will not have to go and get school certificates. There are people who are good in creative things. We have welders, we have designers that have not gone to formal school. Today, the people who move the world are people who have made changes in areas where they have no education at all. We need to encourage them. We now need to bring them back into the formal setup and give them recognition. Encourage them to build others. You know a people through their crafts and arts. When we were growing up, my generation, we were able to make cages for birds.
Yeah.
But my children don't even know how to prepare a broom.
Do they even know how to find the bird in the sky?
So how are we going to continue as a people? Craftsmanship is dead. Nobody is promoting craftsmanship. The schools now engage in buying toilet roll, buying brooms and all that. We must have a way of dominating our environment.
Including asking them to bring toilet soap.
learning how to use the gifts of nature in creating art.
Would you say that it is the absence of these skills and this education in our present generation that have caused young people to go into other things that they think will make money, like baby making factories and all that stuff?
This is the genesis of our problem. If you leave the way of life of a people and refuse to improve on it, what you get is a society that is socially dislocated. And that is where we are. So the people in government will find it difficult. We are a society of deviants now. The governor or the local government chairman will be speaking on the road and nobody wants to listen, because they feel it has no bearing to their lives. And it is wrong. How do we combat? This is some of the areas we are talking about. Now in agriculture, it is planting season today. Nigerians have forgotten how to even plant. 80% of the food crops we have today were planted by our forefathers. In Enugu today is a center for mango, this special species of mango. The mangoes we're enjoying today in Enugu were planted by the colonial masters to protect the environment. None of us have planted one orange, and some of us are getting to be 50, 60 and they have never planted an orange. All they do is to plant this yellow bush and they think it's part of agriculture. We must take it back to the school. Leaders in the community must work with these students so that we go back and start teaching them how to even plant corn. There is no agriculture in any scheme in Nigeria other than oil and gas. So how can we survive as a people if we cannot even take advantage of nature? Is it for the government? I say no. We, members of the community, let us start from our community. If you are building a house, remember to plant a tree. Nobody is planting any tree. So how do we continue as a people and survive and live and dominate our environment?
Yeah.
So if you are talking about initiative on how to grow a country is known the value they place on their women. What values do we place on our women? There is no way Nigeria women will be assisted by government except they dominate the positions of decision making. Who plans for you? You have to make sure that you get into party politics. You cannot participate in a democracy if you don't know the instruments of democracy.
All right.
Policies and programs are designed by the political parties. So
Okay.
these are the issues we want the people to get involved.
Yes. Okay, so you're part of the conversation. We'll take your calls and we'll ask Professor Mazi Chris Okoro, who is also here, and is a member of the National Education and Capacity Building Bureau of the Movement of Voice for Democracy. We've had a long list of topics, but we do know all of them are intertwined. If we start from the baby sales and child slavery, and to why we shouldn't let go of informal education to help us develop business and craft development. If we do that, we're able to look at how to curb this problem of poverty and unemployment, and how we could also leverage agriculture, get everyone back to the farms, get everybody back to planting. And these are activities that will engage the young people and able-bodied men and women, so we don't engage in these practices. And what women and children and men have to do to get in positions where those policies can be created and we can have a better society. Well, it's time for you to call, and more of your calls from now. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning, sir. What's your name and location? Okay. From where?
From Asada.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I'm interested in your discussion.
Yeah.
The truth is that the problem we are having in the north, especially the insecurity, leave baby alone. These are material things. The most important thing that is of essence to every right-thinking Nigerian now is the insecurity in the north. And this insecurity is occasioned by many years of bad leadership. Take, for instance, now, the truth must be said, and this is straight talk. Our governors, they give them security votes. What they do is to go about chasing all these little girls with these monies. Instead of them channeling that money for which it is meant to, they will not do it. And at the end of the day, when the policemen are sent on duty, they are killed for no just cause. Now, another issue is this. Talk of our legislators. They make laws. They don't make any laws to protect our security agencies. I tell you one thing in this today. If you get security right, you get every other thing right until our leaders start doing the right thing, and until they stop deceiving themselves. The problem will continue. And I pray that before you know, if the trend continues like this, because it's trendy, if it continues like this, automatically those Boko Haram people will not go after our, the common man in the street, but the so-called leaders that are failed to do what they are supposed to do. And I found out by telling you, in no distant time, they will stop killing people, innocent children, innocent women, and go for those leaders that have embezzled and those that have coming over the years. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you for calling. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. What's your name and where are you calling from? Could you? Okay, okay. All right, do well to call us back. Hello, good morning. Hello? Yes, good morning. What's your name and location, please?
My name is Ish. I'm from Enugu.
All right, go ahead with your contribution. All right. Try calling us back 0815-960-9134 and 0815-243-7346. That's what we're talking about today, and you can also be part of the conversation. The lines are blinking, so many people trying to call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, this is Michael.
Michael, good morning. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Enugu. Aduluba Michael precisely.
All right, Michael, go ahead with your contribution.
Well, I must say that the discussion is a very interesting one, and from what one of the contributors said about adoption leading to loss of identity, I actually would have agreed, but one thing is that adoption can't totally be obliterated from the land because of issue of poverty. Truthfully, there will always be people who can't actually raise family or children. So the need for adoption will always exist.
Okay.
But what I would like the government to do is that I think there should be a law for regulation and monitoring of every child that is adopted. Maybe yearly, there should be supervisory body that goes to see the child, the welfare, and its upkeeping.
Okay.
And as such, if that child don't disappear from the society, if the awareness about the child well-being is public notice or public knowledge or publicly observed, I think some of the maltreatment or dubious things that are dubious in this adoption will be exposed. But when somebody is adopted and nobody gets to see anything about that person or hear about, I think that is what actually leads mostly to child slavery. Because in most places where child slavery existed, you find out that those people are actually taken into hiding. But when they are not hidden and people get to see them one-on-one, or you get in contact with them, the level of secrecy will expose most of the things that shouldn't be.
Okay.
That's my contribution.
Thank you very much for your contribution. He raised valid concerns about when people are missing. This ties in security. When people are missing, children and young people are missing, and you can't account for them, the next thing you know is that they're having children somewhere. We're not having a system where we can actually monitor our children, monitor their movements, monitor. If we can't find them, who helps us search for them?
What we are trying to do is that the consciousness of Nigerians is that the program we are doing here by Movers is targeting government. No! We are telling Nigerians, take back your lives. We, in the community, we get involved. In Enugu here, there is a program the government is running about community security. They will have programs that will supervise or superintend some of these issues. Because it is our life. It is not the governor's life. It is not the minister's life.
Yes.
But Nigerians are always saying, we tell government. Which government? We are the architects of the government.
Yeah.
We have the councillors. We have the legislators. Many people don't even know we have laws of adoption in this country, which are not supervised, which is more than 50 years old, and it has no content of our culture. It is we that are now agitating. Get involved. Get involved. Why do you adopt a child and obliterate every information about that child's existence and now give her a new identity? It's criminal. It is only done in special cases where,
in terms of security and to guard, safeguard the life.
We must get involved. We must get involved. That you are not able to bear a child and you want to foster a child is different from taking ownership of another person's child. And this is part of why we are talking about the culture. the family tree, the family life of the people. Today, you cannot really, it is no crime that you are not able to trace your mother. Even in one of the biggest cinematography in the world, which Americans engineers would call The Roots, somebody set out to look for where he came from. But with what the regime I see in Nigeria, you will never know where you came from. And it is inhuman, it is criminal, and government is supporting it.
Prof, in terms of locating our roots, locating, like he said, technology has helped a lot in terms of things. But in Nigeria, we don't have a situation where everyone goes for a test or goes to take blood samples or DNA samples. And then when we discover this child, we are able to locate and say, this child is probably from this because, investigation in Nigeria. I mean, some people have been killed. We haven't found the killers. So let's not even talk about that. So how do we create a system where we are able to track?
In fact, I want to thank the promoter, Shififan Shukwonkwo, who got together and involved some of us. And after going through the idea, we decided to key in. I want to say the idea of taking another man's child is not bad, but that child must be allowed to have his own identity. I remember vividly in my hometown, Aruchukwu in Abia State. Over the years, I have watched there were children who were unable to gain secondary education admission because they failed to pass what they call common entrance. And those who were unable also to pass a good school certificate, having all the credits and alphas, they cannot find their way to any university. I decided to establish in my hometown what was then known as Institute of Management Training, where these children who were unable to pass the so-called common entrance for government or even private schools, they gain admission into my school by just filling the form and have automatic admission into the IMT, Aruchukwu. I have assembled well over 50 typewriters and have gotten teachers who were able to come into the crusade with me. We had the basic school certificate or technical education syllabus, which is being used in government-owned schools, to teach these children from classes 1 to classes 5. Basic education. And they were having it at the third year. They would take what we call city and guilds or craft trade. Or at the end, we award them our own certificate. But the problem has always been this, what I will call unnecessary bureaucracy in government.
Which has caused a lot of problems.
Yes, which has caused, you take for example what happened last month, JAMB exam, where nearly 2 million people enrolled for exam. And we were told that 1.2 million, in fact, they should forget about hearing any result. And those people will go back to the system. And there are those who have taken this JAMB now up to 6-8 years. You go and take a census. Where do they go to? This will only give rise to crime. And what I'm saying, I'm using this opportunity because I'm talking about special education and vocational education. In America, people were copying. Universities are classified. Every education is allowed in America, so long as you don't kill people, you don't go to teach people how to shoot people or smoke Indian hemp and rape people. No. Education is of a right. In America, universities are classified. The very best, Group A, you know them. Group B, universities. Group C, Group D, Group E. The more you educate people, you have a better society. It doesn't mean he's going to get a job in the Ministry of Customs, where he's going to stand in the market and take bribe and ask you, where did you get this goods from? He doesn't know where the border is, but he comes into the market to harass innocent traders.
So education is the backbone.
It is indeed
of the society.
Yes,
formal and informal education.
Indeed, when you don't have an educated mind, my brother, you are running into trouble. Ask yourself, how did China make it? How did India make it? I am happy that today movers were compiling 40 items. These are things we don't take for anything. But they are all imported. They are all imported. Starting from lantern, cutlasses, spoons, fork and knife. You name them. Building material. About 89% of building materials are all imported. But these are things that if you encourage vocational education and technical education, these things can be locally be made here, no matter how bad. You know, that's why I see it's not every time people see people forming association you want to criticize government. No, there are a lot of good things. Take for example what Babangida did in his time. There's one aspect I want to pick. Babangida gave this country a lot of hope when he plunged into Nigeria to go into Sierra Leone, go into Liberia, set up ECOMOG, which the United Nations later recognized till today. It is a force. But how have we been able now to utilize all these markets, take advantage of them? Because America don't just come and dump millions in your country. They must also think of the economic way they're going to reap after helping you. So what has Nigeria done?
Our youths are not engaged enough to create a market where people can come and invest.
Take for example, for nearly 6 months, Nigerian markets traders were shut in Ghana. What are they doing there? What are we doing?
Okay. Well, it's still part of the conversation. Let's get you involved in this conversation. It's just, you know, it starts like a small seed, but the problem is bigger than we even see. But is that the end of it? Are we going to fold our hands and say, well, the thing looks bigger than us? You know, if I see this kind of problems, I would avoid running for presidency. This is a big problem. 0815-960-9134 and 0815-243-7346. Society, how far have we gone? How bad has it been that we're having sex slavery, we're having child slavery, we're having baby sales, we're having informal education being thrown aside, and youth looking for jobs when there's agriculture to go into, and women not being supported, and poverty increasing, and everything looks in our faces. What do you think is the solution? Let's keep our government from this. Government is a whipping child, whipping pole for everything bad in this country. Let's see who's here. Hello. Hello. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? All right. Go ahead with your contribution.
Okay, I'm about to say that we say that we don't have insecurity. Are the people guarding us secured?
Oh. Next time you call us, please turn down the volume of your radio set and let's get to know what you have to say. We're going to talk about it. It's not. We're not here to give you the answers. We're here to discuss. You talk with us, we talk with you. It's one country, it's one Nigeria, and everything that happens in this country concerns you. So you're part of this conversation. Hello, good morning. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? All right, go ahead with your contribution.
The problem we're having in this country is, first and foremost, no security in this country. You understand? These are our leaders to try to support us, to provide an enabling environment for an investor. We have so many Nigerians who can come in Nigeria to invest. You understand? I need to pay attention to Nigeria. That's the problem we are having here in Nigeria. So, my contribution is that before anything will happen, we should first of all address the problem of security in this country. That's the best.
Thank you very much. Yep. Address the problem of security. Is it bottom-up solution or top-bottom solution?
It is a bottom-up solution. We in the community know what the issues are. There is no insurgency without a community support, because the problem we have is agitation either for land, agitation either for opportunity that some other groups within a precinct is dominating the other. The elites are so aloof from the issues of security. The policeman is not the ultimate provider of security.
Yes.
We will make demands on the government, and help to put the grid for entrenching security.
All right.
The problem we have is the culture of impunity we have in this country that is being tolerated, that creates insecurity. Because if we become more active in how things are dumped on us, then those people who are responsible for creating the condition that creates insecurity will be a little circumspect in what their actions ought to be. Because we're not interested, we're always thinking about mobile police as provider of security. Even in our communities today, there are some segments of the community that we give them this double barrel gun and give them pickups.
Call them vigilante.
Vigilante. And are they providing security? Security is based on contentment and intelligence. If a people are denied of their right, how can you get security? You can never get security if you deny me of my right. I will find way to undermine what you're doing. So all we are trying to do is that let us get involved in the community and know what the agitations are and raise these issues and add a voice instead of just sitting benignly unconcerned and you think that the army will give you security.
Well, security, as we have said, as you have seen, it's not necessarily, like we say, it's a bottom-up solution, not a top-to-bottom. Well, a lot of people call it and say, let government, that's from the top, let government. What happens from the bottom? Let us together, let's build, let's start. You know, we're not looking at that. So let's talk circumspect, all right? What are the issues that we're talking about today? We'll talk about them. Stay tuned, keep your dial locked on. It's still Straight Talk on 100.9 Solid FM, and it's powered by Movers Nigeria. 30 minutes already in the 10 o'clock hour. Let's go for a short break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right.
Remember, your value is whatever premium you place on yourself. Why wallow in self-pity and despondency? Why fight alone when institutional support is one phone call away? Simply join Movers Nigeria, a people's rights and economic empowerment association. Our platform is available to all: clubs, professionals, women, youth, students, artists, and religious organizations. The attributes that define us as a people were hard work, diligence, philanthropy, family values, kindred spirit, integrity, and fairness. Together, we can fight corruption, violence against women, violation of human rights, and environmental degradation. My friend, will your conduct help us as a group and a community?
Yes, so oyimo omume ga-enyerukwa obodo anyị ka eyi owu nem.
Then you have become a mover. Call or visit us at our national headquarters at number 1 Ogoja Street of Nikki Lake Road by Content Oil and Gas Limited, White House Bus Stop, Transekulu, Enugu. Or call our line 042-229-1198, 0708-955-9992, or email us at admin@moversnigeria.org or info@moversnigeria.org. We are on Facebook and Twitter. Movers Nigeria, rebuilding our lives and community.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your right. Get up, stand up.
Image, and that's just the beginning. Want to get creative? Multi-format testimonials.
I like it a lot. You guys are doing a really good job.
All day, every day.
Best music.
I love it. Rock and roll. That's what I like the best.
Real listeners keeping it real.
I love the music.
Best rock.
Voice parts built for radio.
#1 hit music station.
Ladies' night.
New music first.
Real people, real energy.
This is 100.9. Keep it locked.
You're welcome back, and if you're just joining us, the program is Straight Talk, powered by Movers Nigeria. Yes, you've heard about Movers Nigeria from the short commercial right now that talks about the organization. And in case you're interested and you want to know more about Movers Nigeria, the organization powering this program, Straight Talk, then you should visit their office at number 1 Ogoja Street of Nikki Lake Road, White House Bus Stop, Transekulu, right here in Enugu. And of course, the number to call is 042-291-198. If you want to ask more questions about Movers Nigeria, how to be part of it, how to make your contributions known, how to partner with your organization and Movers Nigeria, 042-291-198 or 0708 955 992 0708 955 9992. Their website is moversnigeria.org, and of course their Twitter handle Movers Nigeria, one word. Their Facebook page is the same, Movers Nigeria, in one word. YouTube, same thing, Movers Nigeria, in one word. Email them at moversnigeria@gmail.com. That's a little bit about Movers Nigeria. Of course, I'm looking at their Facebook page right now, and if you go to their Facebook page, you'll see Movement of Voice for Democracy, also known as Movers Nigeria. Let's see what you have to say about the subject of discourse. All right. Call us back, 0815-960-9134 and 0815-243-7346. Let's see who's here. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir. What's your name and location, please?
Yeah, this is Stanley from Sada.
All right, go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, the truth is that, as I said earlier, and as most scholars have, said, our problem, whether the resource person in the studio like it or not, the truth must be said. And the truth is that the problem is that we have bad leadership. Clinton, when he visited Nigeria the last day, he said it. And by special grace of God, Obama will be coming on the 25th. He will still hammer on bad leadership. So no matter the grammar the resource person speaks in that studio, if he does not agree that our problem is bad leadership, until we get the leadership right, every other thing follows. Our leaders are like role models out there. By the time we look at the people.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and when they do the right thing, automatically delayed will follow. So no matter the grammar, the resource is there, if he does not address the issue of bad leadership, he has not succeeded in doing anything. For instance, he's calling Babangida a man that toiled with our leadership for over the years. Why is he using him as an example? Is he a role model? So thank you. You should be careful with the type of things you say there, because my Nigerians are annoyed.
Okay.
And the truth must be said. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I think I have to...
No, before you answer, I was about to ask a question. You know, when we say bad leadership, it's a common term we use in Nigeria, but I'm trying to ask, which bad leadership? Is it political leadership, economic leadership, leadership in our small unit, in our houses? When we say bad leadership, is it political or what? Is it just political leadership?
Yeah, I sympathize with Stanley. He's very angry with the failure of leadership. We're on the same plate about bad leadership. But I am scientifically looking at how do we arrest bad leadership. Go back to your family. Let us return back to the basics. The unit of our existence starts from our personality and the traits we inherited from our families. And the culture of the people, if we accept that thieves will be in charge. There is a new regime of leaders we are going to elect in the next couple of months now. Everybody is talking about money. Money. The man is rich. The man has so much money. Who are their classmates? What is the value of the individual that wants to come and lead you? I am not angry about the present crop of leaders. They are the product of Nigeria's value system. But I am asking Stanley, let us come together and work on ourselves. Set the proper standards. Say no to those inept people. Make it difficult for them to find a way to come and lead us.
So that for our future
if
generations.
we cannot get together and set the standard and create the intellectual web that will bring in new development in Nigeria, that you are angry that thieves are on top, Iboris are on top. They have amassed so much wealth and they have intimidated the intellectuals in our community. So we are only trying to give you a window. Let us partner. Let us create the standard that will take away oxygen from those inept men. And then the country will stabilize and come into the hands of men and women with vision.
All right.
And I'm sorry if I may come in, because he was particularly talking about Babangida when I raised the issue of one good thing I saw his regime did. It's known even by the United Nations that Nigeria today rank among the best among peacekeeping. Then I now want to add again, there was another one we created that is called ECOWAS, Economic Commission for Something for Africa.
Yeah.
Are we making use of these platforms created by these past leaders? Are we making use of them? The one created it. Are we making use of the ECOWAS?
It doesn't mean that Babangida...
We are not campaigning here for anybody. We are saying, what do we do to utilize certain opportunities? For example, I was opportune to be one of the people that traveled to Zimbabwe before the independence. It was under Obasanjo Murtala Mohammed. Mazi S.G. Koku was the head of Nigerian delegation. He coopted me, Chris Okoro, to come and be his press aide. We traveled. What I'm asking?
And there's a relationship between S.G. Koku
yes,
and Mugabe.
And the present leadership. Because both of them taught at Kwame Nkrumah School of Ideology at the Wamiba. S.G. Koku was the rector principal of the school, while Mugabe was the vice principal. And some other nationalists who were taking refuge under the Nkrumah regime. You see, when we do mention past leaders, we are not campaigning for them. They are not coming, they are not here with us. But we must pinpoint certain achievements. I overheard him saying a newspaper which says, show the light and the people will follow. That is West African Pilot, founded by Zik and financed by Saudumegu Ojukwu and their lackeys. He probably does not know this. You know, yes, in every leader, there are good things you will pick. We are not here to run down anybody. No. What we are saying, how do we enhance? I've just told you, this idea, 2 million people goes for JAMB. You say 1.2 million should not even expect any result. I'm saying no. You are pushing these people into crime. Some are taking this JAMB for 8 years now. What do you do with them? Rather, we should be talking about vocational technical education. And there's nothing wrong really by letting people to go to university. It will help you produce good citizens. But classify these universities, the very A, the very B, the very best ones. Let me give you, for example, again. I was here in Enugu in the 80s when Air Vice Marshal Alpha of the Air Force.
Ibrahim Alpha.
Yes. He had a chair then at Anambra State, Anambra State Asutech University. I'm talking of old Anambra, which now gives you about 4 or 5 states. What did he do? The Asutech then, Department of Engineering, produced a prototype of piston and sleeves for a car. Piston and sleeve metals. Alpha have to bring money from the Air Force to assist that faculty of engineering to see a way to mass produce this thing. And that's where I think industries would have come in to now come in and have an idea how we can now have factories like this man from New is now doing at Emene here called Innocent. Getting some Chinese to come here and assemble vehicles. Very good. But we can take a step further. So we are not here to condemn, to say we are campaigning for anybody. Foul. I have been a victim of what I'm talking about.
My own is what leadership, because I'm sure everyone is pointing to either the head of state or the president. What happens to the people down the ladder? The governors, the political leaders, the economic leaders, all those other people who lead us.
Are we leading well in our own
Are we leading?
Unit?
Yes. So because
family units.
When we say bad leadership, I'm sure during the colonial era they said the colonial masters were bad leaders. When we moved into the democratic dispensation, 1960s, we've always said bad leadership right from the time Nigeria was
Where
born.
do we train our leaders?
Where?
That is what MOVA is trying to do. Let us with Stanley. Stanley, stop getting angry. It won't solve any problem.
Let's take some calls right here. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Stanley once more from Akara.
Stanley, welcome back.
The truth is that you are not campaigning for anybody, but the truth must be said. I like this program, it's a straight talk, and we must talk straight.
Yes.
The truth is that there are better leaders. I can name them. I can name them. M.I. Afara. For instance, now,
where's the criteria? Where's the criteria?
Leaders that can use as an example.
Did he say they are paper leaders?
No, the problem he has is that he has
He's
become
angry.
a judge.
He has angry
He has
so
become
much.
a judge.
He was not
And
even
he's
listening.
making mistakes.
Yeah.
You emotions. You must devoid this issue from emotions.
Yes, let's take more calls right now. I think this is straight talk. We need more Stanleys to call.
Yeah, Stanley is an intellectually active.
Hello. Good morning. Do you mind turning the volume of your radio set down, please?
It's down already. My name is Edema.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm calling from Enugu. I want to really go out a bit from the political aspect. I want to ask a question about the motherless baby home and their saga. I want to ask, the motherless baby home, are they legally selling the children or are they giving it out for adoption? Because the money spent in adopting a child from there is alarming. And the question I want is the money the people that adopt children spend, what are they used for and who is monitoring them? Thank you very much.
Is it a revenue generating organ?
This is what we are saying. This is part of the corruption and bad leadership Stanley is even complaining about. Let the communities take interest in these things and we will change it. We have not bought into the programs. We are talking government as if somebody is coming from the moon. These people who are selling babies, these so-called licensed motherless babies home, should be abolished. That is my point. Because they are propagating a new slavery. Let us look for foster homes. Homes where unwanted children or abandoned children will be taken care of, and we find a way to reunite them with their community, or find parents who can take care of these children, but not to give them a new identity and wipe out their own biological information in the name of so-called motherless. If they are motherless, are they fatherless?
No.
They must come from a community.
Don't they have uncles?
Yeah, okay. Let's take some calls here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. What's your name and location, please?
I'm coming from Wakami, Emmanuel.
Emmanuel, go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, you see, I'm very happy over this issue. But the point remains that we have dragged so much from the point we are going now. We have borrowed a lot of foreign characters and behaviors into our system, which has polluted our system. You see, and it is very difficult to start, erecting them again. Yes. Then you see, from the political point of view, you see, somebody when you talk about the culture, our culture, you talk about the Igwes, the Olus, the head of communities. Yeah. People will go from abroad to report somebody. Hey, but this person is this and that. Somebody who has not been in his town or his village for 1 day, they will go and report him to come and buy for the end of time. You see, all this is what is spoiling our society.
I agree with you.
Yes. Then the women, when we talk about the power we are now handing over the women is too much. Women. We talk about planting of crops in those days. People who do much planting those days, they marry many women. But nowadays, one woman cannot take her eye to see another woman. You see? So all this is a problem. Yes, so the Igbos, they will leave their work, going for political appointment, looking for contacts.
That is why we was engaged.
And by so doing, they will leave the main thing that they were elected for.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for your contribution.
Yes.
Well, that's basically what he's saying. He's saying that I think he's coming down to the communities itself. Those community leaders are traditional rulers. Those are also leaders.
They are the leaders that we see. They are the role models in the community. And he is attacking that structure that produces them. That is why we need to get together and form organizations that will key in and interrogate all these problems. If you go as an individual, they will consume you. That is what Movers is trying to promote. Let us synergize. Let us work together. Invite us in your community. Call young people. Call the intelligentsia in your community. Let us discuss these issues. The laws are not made from outside. The laws must be made within to affect the community.
Yeah.
Leadership is not about money or about the man come from America or about the man. It's about ideas and acceptability, that you must be humble to marry and recognize other people's contribution.
All right. Let me ask this question, Mazi. How many, when we talk about children and adoption, is it also rampant in our rural communities? Because I think it's mostly experienced in urban communities. In the cosmopolitan cities, that's where you have adoption, people throw their kids unwanted pregnancy anywhere. Is this a practice even in the rural communities where it's not as civilized as such?
In fact, when Chief Okonkwo did tell you about adopting now what he calls a closed society, where people mind their business. And our culture is not for us to mind our business. You must mind the business of your neighbor. You must find out your neighbor. How did you wake up in the morning? I hope all is well, and that kind of thing. Now, these things are not only concentrated in the urban centers. They're happening in the rural communities. There are doctors who have no jobs, who have now taken upon themselves, some, who now have rural clinic. And the rural clinic, only God knows what it means. I'm sure those who, this NAPTEC or whatever you call them, that goes in for, there's a body now that fights about this adoption.
Human trafficking.
Human trafficking. They're rural communities. And most of the homes being captured where you have children born and delivered and sold, they are not in the town. They are in the rural communities. But the public is not giving information enough. Because people are just trying to live like America, minding their business.
Okay.
Forgetting that you must be a keeper of your own brother. And again, I must thank you, our editor. Last 2 weeks, I listened to this a program from this station. I want to talk about past leaders being mentioned. You mentioned them for good, yes. I was not going to mention anything bad about anybody, but something I picked that which I think the community can help. This very radio station was doing something, and they said today in events, they mentioned a leader whom today was either birthday or so celebrating him. And that was General Ibrahim Babangida. Sorry, not Babangida, Buhari.
Buhari, yes.
Now, it was in this program you narrated what he achievement, and said, above all, do you know Buhari's teacher, the man who taught him, the Oxford-educated soldier, first graduate in the Nigerian Army, Otubegwu Ojukwu taught him in the military school. It was mentioned in these radio stations. So people must go by history. We are not here advocating, bring out everybody and kill them. No. We are saying, come together. Let us fight together. Fight here, we don't mean arming anybody. It's just putting ideas together. I've just told you how I opened a school in my hometown. But because of bureaucracy, they say, oh, it's not accredited. It's not accredited. The students, I say, get yourself something. Get educated first. I went further again to establish a university that was shut down called Richmond Open University. By the help of this same organization, the Chief Ifeanyi Chukwu Okonkwo, the group came together. We have to go to Federal High Court to institute an action against the federal government of Nigeria, National Universities Commission, Inspector General of Police, and so on, 6 others. At the end of the day, the Federal High Court returned a verdict in our favor to say Richmond Open University is legally and constitutionally recognized. We have the judgment. This is a university you can stay back in your home, subscribe, distant learning, and study. Today you have the picture of great Alvan Ikoku in your 10 naira currency note. He wasn't a governor, neither was he a president, but he was an achiever, pioneer educationist. Way back by 1912-13, he was already the first graduate from Eastern Nigeria, first university graduate. How did he do it? Distant learning program of the University of London. Chief Awolowo, the same thing. So we are not here to come and flog any leader. No, we are looking at where we can harness together, bring out greatness for our future generation. Thank you very much.
Even the criminals have some quality.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. What's your name and where you calling from?
Sorry, Stanley is from Asaba. My network. Yeah. So, the truth is that you people are doing the right thing. And
You must join us.
I'm in support of what you are doing.
God bless you.
The issue is that I still maintain that our problem is bad leadership.
Yes, we agree. We agree. I 100% agreement with you. Yes.
Listen.
You're right.
And the solution is this.
Yes.
The solution is this. Our leaders must, as a matter of urgency, start with the practice of, governing, the people.
Yes.
Or else it will backfire on them, which are started. For instance, look at Lagos State now. Formerly, they said nobody owns Lagos, but now go to Lagos, things are done with decorum. There is orderliness.
You are starting promoting Lagos now. He's using an example. Yes.
I'm using that as an example, as a case study.
Yeah.
Go to Edo State. The issue is I want to tell that we still have good leaders. And my annoyance is that you should not use any bad leader as an example. That's my annoyance. And that's my annoyance.
No, we are not mentioning, but we were only talking about the platform in which our youth can go and benefit ECOWAS countries.
Please, we need Stanley.
We are all mentioning about the platform that man created. That's all.
Okay.
We are not campaigning for him, please.
Let me ask lastly, because we have to run out of the studios in 5 minutes. Bad leadership and either the absence of bad policies, who can we blame? Not really blame, because any leader comes and meets a policy.
The problem we have is that people who are angry about leadership in Nigeria have never taken time to study leadership as an institution. A people, their values and their attitude will throw off the type of leader they get. Part of the problem we have in this country is that one man stands up and brings his own credential and says, look, the other man is not a good leader. The problem is that you cannot give what you don't have. There is no institution where we train leaders. We are asking people, go back to your family. You wake up in the morning, growing up. The first language you learn is the language of your mother tongue. The first person you learn the name is the people around you. They teach you how to greet those who are older than you. They teach you how not to quarrel with the people in position of authority. They teach you the time to eat, the time to go and take your bath, and the rest of them. Most of the leaders we have today in this country is suffering from one syndrome. 80% of them never lived in organized society. Most of them went to school from home. When we lost the boarding school after the Civil War and the rest of them, their mother is the only prefect they know. That is why it's difficult to have friends. It's difficult to have people keen back to their old school boys or old girls association. Everybody cannot belong even to a sorority, to clubs, and the rest of them. We lost the discipline of cooperating with people and obeying rules and regulations. How do you produce leaders? Leaders are produced by typical example and the discipline in the society.
And if I may come in here again, Stanley, I want to thank you and commend you for your stand, but you must come out and join us. Do you know there's what is called the private individual bill? A group can get together and sponsor a bill in the National Assembly. That's all what we are saying. Stanley, do you know today people ought to have gone to sponsor a private bill, which the Conference of Vice Chancellors have failed to do because they are all part of the system.
Wait, you mean we have a private...
Yes, private bills, yes, private bills.
So people can gather together and...
I am coming. Let me finish. Let me finish. Do you know, I have advocated several times, Conference of Vice Chancellors should not be sitting idle. They should sponsor a private bill. There is a law already which empowers JAMB to be the only gateway for you to get into a university. And these vice chancellors are crying. Why are they crying? Maybe they don't know that they can get together as a group or association, sponsor a private bill in National Assembly, which will say 2 laws can never be in a place. One must give way. This one they call UMTE, where the vice chancellors, some of them are eating from, I'm sure, by organizing second exam after jump in the name of standard. Stanley, please, I want you to come together with us. We can sponsor a bill to Parliament to say, let jump goes, so that these universities can now conduct their own individual common entrances. So it was before the war.
Okay. All right, Movers Nigeria hot today, even though it's a hot Saturday right here in Enugu. You're listening to us from 10B Savage Crescent, and every Saturday we come like this and talk straight. Well, we found a new friend, Stanley, and of course every other friend who listens to 100.9 Solid FM. Mr. Ifeanyi Chukwuokonkwo, the initiator and promoter of Movers Nigeria. Thank you very much for making my Saturday as usual. Fiery Saturday.
Maybe we'll contribute to next Saturday.
It's always fiery.
Yeah.
And of course, Professor Mazi Chris Okoro, a member of National Education and Capacity Building Bureau of Movement of Voice for Democracy and founder of Richmond Open University. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
All right, you could reach them at number 1 Ogoja Street off Nike Lake Road by Content Oil and Gas Limited. That's White House Bus Stop, Transit Kulu. The number to call them is 042-291-198 or 0708-955-9992. Reach them on their website, moversnigeria.org. Check them on Twitter, same thing, it's one word, Movers Nigeria. Facebook and YouTube is the same thing, Movers Nigeria, and you probably want to mail them right now. It's moversnigeria@gmail.com. I'm Super Sam. I'm stepping out of the studios, back to Amazing Grace, and you would not want to miss Skimpy this afternoon. She's going to be having a great time. I'm getting myself ready to go for Bob Marley Day. Have a beautiful day ahead. Enjoy yourself.